And we back with another
Yay.
episode of It's the End of the World, unless,
Pa, pa, pa,
as
pa, 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 pa,
usual,
pa.
oh yeah, all that. as, as usual, it's me, your girl, a real nigga, Tiana,
Eh,
whatever. And it's my co-host,
And skinny never skinny, the one and only. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
period. And this is kind
What we
of,
talking about today? What we talking about today?
it's not like a really special episode. It's just, I guess, kind of. All right, so we finna just get into it. Me, Skinny, and one of my other best friends, or my other best friend. I don't have. Anyway, me, Skinny, and my other best friend, we all took an adventure to
Adventure.
goddamn Indiana.
Goddamn Indiana. Goddamn.
The
Where it's like
state of
three black people.
the state of corn, my nigga. We went to the state of corn, and
Yes.
the corn state. That corn was good as hell, though, bro.
That
I ain't
go
gonna
was
lie.
good as shit though. It was good.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. With
Uh,
no butter, nothing. Just throw that shit on.
yes.
That shit was fire.
It was
But
fantastic.
you,
Hey, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I had to give a shout out to my nigga. Shout out to my nigga. You know what I'm saying?
shout out to my man. Oh
Shout
my
out to my
god,
nigga. My
that
young
was
nigga.
amazing.
My young OG. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes. I hope that man's is rich at this point,
Hell
but I know
yeah.
he's not. That's what pisses me off.
I know. They're gonna exploit that little I hope they'll, you know what I'm saying?
They already
But you know how
are.
they
Chipotle got a
you
whole
know.
ad with this man.
Man, look.
You ain't see
I
that?
just I mean, they don't know if do they know if his people's got like you know what I'm saying? Like cause he can't get no money directly, obviously. So it's going to somebody, right? So
I'm sure they getting money, but I'm also
how
sure that it's not as much as he
oh
should be getting.
definitely. They cutting
For
him.
the,
But
yeah. But yeah, that's not what we talking about. So we traveled to the corn state for this gathering that I basically forced them to come to with me called dual power gathering. Um which was basically like a meeting of the minds in the middle of the state park in Indiana. Like we were all camping and stuff. Um and it was just a bunch of people from all over who think the same shit that we do, that like say fuck capitalism, abolish prisons, go abortion, fuck racism, all that, all that all the shit that we scream about into the void. It was just a bunch of people coming together to talk about this stuff. And they labeled it as an unconference. So it wasn't like you come and they had like a set schedule, set speakers that like had an agenda, like a whole, slideshow to go through or whatever. It was everyone came together like the first day, everyone sat down and kind of I think they split everybody up into smaller groups, and within those groups you talked about why you came, like where you were from, like a little bit of your background, why you came, what you were expecting to give or receive or both, from this gathering. And then they all came back together in the big group and came up with the schedule. And it was some pretty cool like it was some pretty cool schedule conversations. I didn't get to go to nearly as much as I wanted to, just because, I mean, one, like I said, I mean, the one of the downsides to it being a unconference is that it's not really super set, like it's kind of just like going with the flow. And if you end up in the right space, you end up in the right space. But that's what kind of made it what it was, so um
Yeah.
you wanna go first, or you want me to go?
I mean, I can go first. I mean, I
Okay,
would
yeah.
no. I want you to go. I want you to go first. I want you to go first because I want you to give like your.
I don't want to give a full synopsis and then you like it's gonna, like feel free to interject whenever.
Okay.
Um, but I mean, I left feeling pretty inspired, honestly, and not because of um the people that I met or the things that were discussed. I mean, that shit was pretty, it was pretty cool too, but just because like I had never seen, let alone experienced, heard of something like that, which is why I was so like I really wanted to go just to see how it would be. And it was really cool to see that so many people from around the world were willing to make the trip to goddamn Indiana, out of all places,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to talk to a bunch of other people that they don't know about stuff that we essentially dedicate our lives to, or just our lives, our thoughts, our conversations,
Mm-hmm.
relationships, all that. It was really cool to see that in action. And yeah, I fucked with it. I fuck with it heavy, especially for it to be the first year of that specific gathering. There's other gatherings like this that I learned while I was there from other people, but
Mm-hmm.
for it to be their first year doing it, and so many people came willing to, ready and willing to share and also listen, was cool. It was cool. I
Yeah.
also, excuse me, I also didn't quite know what I was walking into. And then, of course, my two niggas that's with me are even more like, bitch, what the fuck is this? So I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not being as like open to it as I know I could have been. But that's also just because like I'm a woman and I'm black. So I'm like, I have to be somewhat guarded,
Mm-hmm.
But um, it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was cool.
Okay.
You agree?
Um, agree is a strong word. Um, I okay. All right. So
Come on. Let us
okay.
hear
So
it.
I'm not gonna shit on nature shit. Like I respect them for putting that shit together, honestly. Because me, it'd probably take a team of niggas with me. Because I know I'm gonna be like, look, just figure it out, and I'll be right here to tell you good job. Because you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just
yeah,
a lot to like put together. So I respect them for that shit.
yeah.
As far as like what I got from it is really it to me, honestly, like other than okay, so it was one part like at the end, it might have been like the last one we went to where it was like an indigenous
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
the indigenous
Just it
something
was it was like promoting indigenous voices. Like,
that one. So
yeah,
that one
yeah.
was probably the only one that really like touched me, like really made me feel
Really?
something. Yeah, because I felt like that was something the way he was and the way he like you could tell it was real. And
He
it's
was
like
so
I could
down to earth and
yeah, like
like,
I could
yeah,
respect his you know what I'm saying, his chill and like his
it was
just his
more
whole
relatable.
you
Yeah,
could just get his yeah because it feels because I think one thing that we kind of forget as we as black people like focus on like this slavery and all these other things, civil rights and all that, is that like Native Americans went through like real life genocide, like they real life had a lot of their people killed and moved to a smaller location, and then you know what I'm saying, so it's like a lot of the struggles they might not have went through exactly
we
what
did
we went
too.
through.
I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, no bullshit, but I'm saying
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. But go ahead, go
they
ahead.
like you know what I'm saying, it's still in the same way we share, a common, you know what I'm saying, as far as
Mm-hmm.
coming from an indigenous place and like kind of having it fucked up because of colonialism and shit. Like so it's just
Yeah.
like I that message in itself was like, you know what I'm saying, I fuck with that shit. Like that gave me like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Well, all right. So now we get to the part where okay, so I will say I enjoyed like going camping and shit. Like I'll probably do that again. But it had to be with
Okay.
y'all or like somebody who know how to camp. Cause I can't do all that by myself. I'ma die out there. I promise you I'ma die. Look, if I ever tell y'all I'm going camping by myself, please, I'm gonna send like 8 people my location, yo. Like,
No, bro, because
please,
the way niggas was at war with mosquitoes,
look,
bruh.
the mosquito between the mosquitoes and like I didn't look when I showed up. I did not know like what the bathing situation was gonna be. I just said, look, I know T got my back. and I know Misty knows something, so we gonna figure it out. But I was like, I don't know what's about to happen in these motherfucking woods. I didn't know what to expect.
I'm crying.
She talking about let's go. I was like, look, bro, I was already going through like a little depression phase, and that's part.
Yeah.
But I will say, getting out in nature and everything, like, did help. You know what I'm saying? A lot with that shit, like just
Yay.
being out in the trees and like the motherfucking beach. The beach was fucking lit. Like the view and shit, that shit was lit. I fuck with
Mm-hmm.
that shit. So
Experiencing
I
the sunset on the beach.
yeah, the sunset on all that like was amazing. So I feel like
With
the
like
overall.
friends though, like not on sorry to interrupt, but like
No,
you
you
know,
good.
a lot of times like when you experience and shit like that, you want to do that with like a partner or a lover or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
No, my nigga, because that shit might ruin the fucking doing
Mhm.
it with friends was great. That
It
shit was
was.
amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
But I felt like the entire experience together, like even like just going to McDonald's and seeing all them white people in there, like I felt like all that shit together was just like the part that I enjoyed. The conference itself or unconference or whatever was very like I, it was lackluster. Like it was kind of like a bunch of white people in the woods talking about their like what they've done for people and what they did their accomplishments. Oh, I've been working for this for 10 years and I did it, and it's like, bro, okay, cool, but like, what we talking about? Like, I feel like I guess I've gotten to a point where I'm like, I respect people for trying to like I respect like all of us play a part in trying to like dismantle the machine. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we do better in our own I guess our own selective groups like tribes versus like I don't like how can I say it? I feel
Did you
like
feel like this before?
no. No,
Okay.
and I guess that's what it was. Like it didn't really change. Like it didn't inspire me. Like I said, the one indigenous dude, yeah. But I feel like especially like hearing the Black Lives Matter shit. Like when we went to the little Black Lives Matter shit, and hearing all these white people say, yeah, the way it affected me is, oh, at first it was this, and then it was thrilling, and what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all niggas sitting here talking about, oh, it was just great to see. Da, da, da. We not this not a
Nah,
game. Like this not it's not
nah. What was killing me was okay. So it was a discussion on the George Floyd riots in 2020, and it was
mm,
really just like critiques, comments, whatever. And one point that some white lady said, and it really stuck with a lot of them, was that they're coming out in the streets in the middle of COVID, which was a thing in itself because, you're out there around all these people during the height of a pandemic, which is like
mm-hmm,
whatever. But
mm-hmm,
then they were like, you're doing all this work and stuff, but the aftermath, it took such a toll on me, and there was no resources there for
mm-hmm,
people that were just burnt out. And
mm-hmm.
I'm like, welcome. I mean, like
Like what the fuck you
I
want me
don't
to
really,
say?
I don't really feel. I mean, sorry you experienced that, but also like, bitch.
That's every day, nigga. Like what you mean? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
And
every day for some people.
another thing that threw me was they were doing like popcorn, whatever. Like when one person
Mm-hmm,
finishes, they would just pick the next person to go. But
mm-hmm,
I guess it wasn't clarified because we got there a little late. I guess it wasn't clarified in the beginning. Um, like pick people that have their hand raised that are actually
mm-hmm,
wanting to speak. So
mm-hmm.
this one dude went, and I think he's indigenous or like at least part
I think
indigenous.
he's I think he might be like Brazilian or something like something
Really?
like yeah, like he didn't look like white. He looked kind of like light skin, like really light, like South American or like something. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he didn't look like straight white. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. So he wasn't white, but he wasn't black either. So he had
Mm-hmm.
just finished talking. I forgot what he said. But
Wasn't important.
then no. And then not to the point that I'm making. And then as soon as he finished talking, they were like, okay, pick the next person. He's looking around and stuff, and I'm being attentive the whole time, like looking at people while they're talking. And really I went to that specific discussion to observe, to listen. I wasn't trying to share shit. That was my mindset in going into the whole weekend, really. And so he's looking around, locks eyes with me, and it's like he reads my because we had little name tags.
Mm-hmm.
Reads my name tag, T, and I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing to say, and then they
And not to cut you off, but
go ahead, go
disclaimer,
ahead.
disclaimer, it's only like 3 full black people at the
Right?
whole event. So including me and T. So
Yeah.
it's me, T at this little conference or
You
at this little one
exaggerating. It was like
discussion.
12. It was like 12.
Okay. Like 12 out of like out of like 100 white people. Cool,
You
whatever.
know, plus a
So
100 plus white people,
in
but
this one
yeah,
discussion, in this one discussion, is me and
it's
T,
just
is one
oh
other black dude, and then it's
yeah.
like this like kind of, and I guess the one girl that was kind of like, I don't know, yeah,
I
but
don't know, but it was only
everybody else
three
was white.
three niggas,
Basically, it was a bunch of
including
white
us.
people.
Three niggas, including us. So I'm just like, no, like, and then they peep that
Yep.
somebody else was. They peep somebody else was raising their hand, so they're like, "Oh, go over here." But it's like, hold
Mhm.
on. And
Mhm.
then, okay, so that was like the first thing that had me like raise an
Yeah.
eyebrow, right? And then at the workshop, I think we went to right after that. What was that even on? I don't fucking remember because that's not the workshop I was intending to go to. But
Was that the Buddhist dude,
yeah,
the
oh,
religion one?
it was liberation theology. I
Mhm.
had never
Mhm.
heard of that shit a day in my fucking life. But
Mhm.
like it was really interesting hearing these people talk about this shit. I had no idea about it. I love learning. So I was like, okay, cool. We could just sit here and listen, I guess.
Mhm.
But during that one, um, I was like being looked to comment too, and I'm like, all right, now, okay, all right. Like, so that was the one representation and all that, whatever. And this is with anything really, not just with this specific gathering, but it's just being looked to be the voice of like a minority and or an
Mhm.
ostracized group just because you're one of the few, if not the only, that are present.
Mhm.
My nigga, no.
No,
Like
that's not it.
um,
That's not it. And I guess that, and I feel like that discussion really rubbed me the wrong way the most, is because it's kind of like that repeated cycle of like white people looking for like us to guide them or teach them how to not be, I don't know, just not to
the
be
George
better
Floyd
people.
one, the George
Yeah,
Floyd one.
yeah, and it's like, why
Yeah.
should we have to keep telling y'all, like, explaining y'all, like, this is why this is wrong. This is why this shouldn't be like this. Y'all,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of y'all here talking about how this whole thing affected y'all and da da da. Y'all was out in the streets doing all this shit, wilding, all this spray painting shit. Then y'all got to go back to y'all little neighborhoods and shit, and then y'all left niggas who really live in those neighborhoods out to dry. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that ain't cool, bro. Y'all was out there riding. Y'all wasn't worried nothing about them homeless people that was out there. Y'all was stepping out, like, just stomping through the streets and everything else. Like, no, taking pictures and all this other shit. Like, nah, bro. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say and pander to y'all feelings because y'all want to feel bad about yourselves, like, or feel bad because you felt exhausted afterwards, like it was a workout or some shit. Like, nah, bro. I'm not like whatever. But that aside, I don't feel like anybody was disingenuous. I will say that. Like, I don't think nobody
Right.
was intentionally trying to be like an asshole or trying to be like
Right.
inconsiderate.
Right. Right.
I just think what I got overall from a lot of those discussions, or that even though these people are very like tapped in as far as like, okay, they know, like, capitalism and da 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 da, like the third eye is there, whatever, cool, whatever you want to call it. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, they're very oblivious to the worlds that they're trying to save, is what I
Yeah.
picked up. Like, you're trying to start this mutual aid, you're trying to get these people out, you're trying to do da 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 da, but you're not actually engrossing yourself in these people's like lives, cultures, everything else. So you don't know shit about what's going on, like, for real, for real. You just on the outside, like, oh, we gotta help these people, but you're not really in the trenches. You're not really doing, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everybody's like that, but from a lot of the discussions, that's what I got. It was a lot of like, from the outside looking in, or like, I've
Mm-hmm.
done this, and this, and I've da 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 da. But it's like, do you make it a point to know these people directly? Like, do you make it when you start these mutual aids to get like people out of jail and da 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 da? Like, do you take the time to get to know their families, get to know them as people, or are you just trying to save it for your own selfish ego or trying to make yourself look good?
So I gathered that, but really only from the George Floyd discussion. From the liberation theology, I didn't really get much from that. It was just interesting hearing other people's opinions and shit. But
Mm.
the
I will say
one,
about that one though. I ain't even catch you up, but I will say about that one. I don't like how the dude tried to. He kind of like apprehended the conversation, and it became about like Buddhism, and it's like
oh yeah,
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I personally feel like Buddhism is something that is not. It's not the same Buddhism that they really like. The real Buddhism is different from American Buddhism, so it's like it's a little bit. You know how they do. They'll take something and kind of mingle it and twist it around to fit there. But the actual Buddhism is a little bit different. So it's like I just feel like it's more. It was I don't know. It's one of those like culture vulture type things where it's like yeah, it's the
He was
new.
quoting a lot of these like Buddhist sayings and practices and stuff,
Hmm.
and his backing really was that he was doing a research paper on it.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
did like it was like an extensive research paper for I don't know, but that's where he was getting a lot of
And
his
that's what I
information.
mean. It's like yeah, you doing research papers, but like are you actually doing like what I'm saying? Are you going to China or whatever like to actually what I'm saying? Like do that, or you just like, oh, I'm a white guy who does a research paper and now I'm Buddhist, like because it's the trendy
Yeah,
thing to do right now. Like fuck out of
yeah.
here.
I will say that I think you were with me when we went to the prison abolition discussion, that one um probably had the biggest effect on me, I think. Um and
I don't know if I
only
went to
be
with that one. I don't know if I remember that one.
I swear to God you were with me. It was
You
like
sure
at
that
the
was?
back of the campsite and we were sitting on the picnic bench and it was you remember the guy he was talking about how he would like go out to the prisons and they played
Oh,
Black
play the
Panther
music and
on a
shit. Yeah,
projection
yeah, yeah.
screen and they had
Yeah,
the yeah,
okay, yeah. Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Um
remember that.
because that one it didn't feel performative. None
Mhm.
of what anybody was saying felt performative, and these were people that were recounting experiences of them actually doing the work. Like I said, the guy he said he works with some group where they like actually go out to his local
Mhm.
prison and they had like
Mhm.
played not Wakanda, fucking Black Panther on a projection screen for them because that's the movie that they
And
wanted to watch, and
and
they like
disclaimer,
played.
disclaimer. Wasn't he black?
No, he was white,
You
or at
sure?
least white
That wasn't the
passing.
black dude?
He was not black. I don't think there was
What?
any black people there, which is what I was most surprised about.
That one dude with the scarf, with the bandana, who was at the George Floyd thing. That
Oh,
wasn't him?
the one that called me at the
No.
George Floyd.
No. It was another black dude that was at
No,
the
no, 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 no. He was at the indigenous one. He came to the indigenous one.
You sure
And
he
then I
wasn't
think
at that one?
he came to
Because
the
I feel like it was
liberation
him that said
theology
that.
one. Mm-mm. It was a bigger white dude.
I really don't remember that.
I promise you, I remember. I remember. But that's why I remember because it had a pretty like lasting effect on me. He was saying that they like played movies outside of the prison and through like a New Year's Eve like blasting music for New Year's Eve for them and shit. And then another person at the group um was saying how she had started like this newsletter where she's getting actual accounts from prisoners inside
Mhm.
and making that known what the fuck they're going through in there. So it's just like
Mhm.
hearing these at least white passing people talk about them doing the work. I could respect it because I shout about prison abolition all day. I'm not doing none of that shit.
Mhm.
I don't feel like I'm entitled to because they're doing it. Of course, I want to do
Mhm.
more with that. There's so many things that need to be rid of, that like pick a
It's
hill.
like where you start, right?
So just hearing that they were doing that, and people were quoting like all these different good readings that I'm somewhat familiar with, it just really made me be like, okay, because before that gathering, my nigga, I was fuck all white people, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
You are guilty until proven innocent. And now I don't feel like fuck all white people. I still kind of feel like you're guilty until proven innocent. But now I feel like I can be, how should I say this? I can be a bit softer with I don't have to, I don't know. I don't have to harbor so much hate inside of me for
Mm-hmm.
them
Mm-hmm.
just because of how they've been as a whole. Because there are white motherfuckers out here doing the work, my nigga, and I
No,
have
they
to
was
respect
genuine ass people. Like I don't want to like come off like I'm just like all of them. Everybody was trash. Da, da, da. Like
no,
it was.
yeah,
I
I
could tell.
can't.
I could. You know what I'm saying? It was genuine, like energy and shit.
Mhm.
I guess for me, like I guess first not knowing like what I was going into, and then like I guess expecting. I don't know, just kind of expecting more diversity. I guess just more
Oh
like
yeah, I didn't. See, I really didn't have any
see.
expectations, but okay, so then the prison abolition discussion, I was like, okay. And then towards the end of it, I think it was on the last day, I was talking to one of the people that organized the whole gathering, and they put a lot of thought into that shit. They asked me what I genuinely thought about the gathering because obviously I'm black and I'm a woman,
Mm-hmm.
like a minority at the fucking gathering, in life in general, but specifically at the gathering. And I was telling him how I felt like I was being looked to be the spokesperson for black people or black women, because I was one of the few that were there. It was like no diversity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was asking, like, how the fuck did y'all come up with Indiana, bro? Like, why are we here out of all
Mm-hmm.
places? And they were saying that this specific state park was the most central location that they could pin down, that on your way there you wouldn't be passing like Trump signs, and like, like the people there were
Mm-hmm.
really receptive and welcoming, and we experienced that. I
Mm-hmm.
specifically, I won't speak for you, but when me and
No, they was
Misty,
cool. Like they was definitely cool as shit. Like I don't want to
yeah, me
disrespect
and
nobody.
Misty,
They
we
was
went
definitely cool
into
as
this
shit.
like local beach shop before we went to the beach, and the guy was like really fucking. He was like a white older guy. He was really fucking nice, and just like anybody that we encountered out there, I
Everybody was
expect.
cool.
Yeah, I expect the opposite because you're in fucking
Mm-hmm.
Indiana and you're in this like middle of bumfuck town. But
Mm-hmm.
they considered that, because they knew that there was going to be at least one black person there. We want to make this feel as welcoming as possible, but as far as the diversity thing, they were saying that um they can outreach, and advertise and stuff. And the reason, and I asked them why their social media was so weird, like why they weren't posting,
Mm-hmm.
how they just kept putting the
Yeah, I
same.
was gonna say that too. Cause I'm like, if you want to reach more people, like in general, you gotta
I
have some type
think,
of information.
yeah,
But
I think
it's
me talking to them really made me feel okay, all right. So this was really, really done thoughtfully and with well intentions, So
mm-hmm.
I respect it,
Mm-hmm.
But they were saying that they didn't advertise that much on social media because they had already they didn't sell tickets, but everything, it was free to attend,
Mm-hmm.
but they had already oversold tickets. They had already given out like way too many registrations or whatever, so
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want to attract more people to come. They just
Mm-hmm.
kind of wanted to keep the amount of people that they had interested. So that's why they were sending out like the emails and stuff. But what was the point I was making before that? Hold on. Um, we talked about the location. We talked about the diversity thing. They were saying that they can talk to their friends and their circles about it, and their circles will talk to their circles. But it kind of goes back to what you said. If you grew up in bumfuck Indiana around white people, how you gonna know a black person?
Mm-hmm.
If you went to a school, a majority white school, unless you like are well traveled and all this shit, like, so it's just they went as far as their circles went, those circles went as far as those circles went,
Mm-hmm.
and it just happened to reach me, you, Misty, and the
Mm-hmm.
handful of other black folks that were there. But
Mm-hmm.
if we want more diversity, it's kind of, I don't want to say it's on us, but like
No,
a
it just is. Like it
part of
just is.
that weight is ours,
Mm-hmm.
so if we want more diversity there, if we want more black voices next year when they do that shit, we got to bring more niggas.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was something to consider, and it made me respect the event itself and the people that organized it a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
They can't control the people that are gonna come and like their outlooks and views and shit. But I think, I mean, the passing out free literature, they had so much free literature, bro. The
Mm-hmm.
passing out
And
free
sleeping bags. I took like 2 of them
sleeping
motherfuckers. So thank you
equipment,
for
they
that.
had sleeping bags, they had hammocks, they had tarps, they had these little like self defense things, they had
Can I can I can I can I like interject quick? Cause
yeah.
I want yeah. So like I don't want nobody to like take what I say as like I'm shitting on their whole conference and like their conferences are shitty and da da da. I want it come off like that, but that's just my energy because it's like I said I went into it not really expecting anything, so it's like
Yeah,
it was just like whatever. Like it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. It was just like whatever. Like
yeah, that's
it
fair.
was it was a prototype. Like I could see the vision,
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
something. Honestly, it's something I feel like I want to steal, but
Bruh, literally what I
but
talked to you and Missy that last day, my nigga, how can we do this but for niggas?
but
Like,
niggas,
this
yeah,
shit could be
but in
so powerful and
yeah,
transformational
yeah,
and make such a huge impact
yeah.
if it had niggas,
You know what I'm
like,
saying? You know what I'm saying? And I just
we
feel
literally
like
had this conversation.
that but I will say like the energy was genuine. Like nobody there was like on some weird shit. Like everybody there was cool. It
Mm-hmm.
was love. The food was good. Like I
Oh
ate.
yeah,
I
they was
don't.
cooking for niggas. Niggas
I
didn't have to pay
I
for
was like I
food.
don't even think I ate meat the whole like most of the trip.
Yes, you did.
But
Shut up. Yes, you did.
it felt like I didn't. Okay, it didn't feel like it. Okay,
They
it
provided
ain't feel like
breakfast,
it.
lunch,
But
and
niggas had
dinner,
food.
bruh,
Niggas
for
had food,
free.
bruh.
Registration was free. You didn't have to pay for nothing,
Yeah.
nothing but to get there.
The
Like,
white folks
so when,
looked out, y'all. They looked out.
yeah, when I saw that they were okay, the first green flag is when I saw that they were preparing food for everybody for
Mm-hmm.
the free. I'm like, okay, bet. And then
Mm-hmm.
I saw that there was like a discussion for like abortion methods or something that you could, if you're in a state that's not legal. So I was like, I a sex workers lunch. I'm like, okay, all
Mm-hmm.
right, let's see what the fuck is going on. But it was really, I'm really glad we went, regardless of what it was. I'm really glad we went. Um, I won't say I had a. It was fun, it was cool. Not the specific guy, just like being there with y'all and what we was doing and stuff. That was fun. But that really, like, being a part of that really got my brain going, and I'm inspired for real to like make some shit like that happen
Yeah,
for real.
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
That I feel like that's the next step. Like I guess that's the biggest thing that I took from it all is like the potential for something like that is like, you know what I'm saying? Like but like you said, do it in nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Because did you
But
ever like? Have you ever heard or something like that, or even imagined something like that happening?
I
Not
mean,
for niggas, but what we actually experienced.
nah, like I guess honestly I was gonna say like maybe like in desperation, like in the apocalypse or some shit, like you know what I'm
Right. When
saying,
it's
like
too
when we
late.
got to, yeah,
When it's too late. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm glad we
it was
went. Well,
definitely
thanks for
a
coming
vibe.
with me. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming.
I almost
Yeah.
didn't. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I almost
I
didn't.
know, bro.
But
I know.
yeah.
I know. You literally packed your bag an hour before we left. I know.
Yeah. I
know.
did. I really did. And
I'm
I
glad.
think that was that the same? No, that wasn't the same day. I had gotten like a car accident like 2 days before that shit, or like a
Right.
day
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
I think it was the day before because you
day
was starting to
before. Yep,
feel it. You was starting to
yep,
feel it that morning.
yep. The day before. Yep. So
Yeah.
but it was definitely a vibe. Like I said, the just being out in nature and shit that was the best part of it all. Like that was probably like
That was your first
what?
time camping too, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. You know what
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
saying?
We had the
I
shower
popped.
tent and everything,
You know
baby.
what I'm
We
saying?
was
We was
doing it.
boozy. We was
We was
boozy. They
doing
was
it. We
hating a
was
little
doing
bit.
it
They was
though.
walking fast. They was like, oh shit. They was like, yeah, we do this. You know what I'm saying? Niggas
Bro,
had to
we
come
had
and
the
show
air
out real
mattress
quick.
in the tent
Right,
and the shower
right.
tent right
Had the
next door,
movies
my
popping.
nigga.
Like, we did that. We did that. Yeah. We
The
did that.
Schweed was being smoked. I mean,
All that.
the beach was literally a 5-minute drive away.
It was,
We
yeah,
experienced the sunset on the beach and was like, all right, bro, sunrise, bet.
like shit. Like
Coming
shit.
right back in the morning.
Had to.
But you went home feeling better?
I did. I did.
Okay, good.
I was in a better mental space.
Good shit. Good shit.
Yeah. Overall, it was a good trip, though. It was a good
Yeah,
trip.
I'm really glad y'all came with me. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of
Because I wouldn't have
course.
went if y'all wasn't gonna go.
Hmm. Nah, we couldn't let you. I couldn't let you go by yourself.
Nah, I needed the backup. You know what I'm saying? Just in case shit went awry,
Right, I
I had
about to
to
say
be
shit went
ready.
left.
I had to
We
be
had to come.
ready.
We would have had to pull up to Indiana, come get you and shit.
Hello, niggas would have already been dumped in a corn maze and shit. But
Right, right.
but it was a good time. Any closing remarks?
Um, read a book as always. Read a book.
Hello.
I ain't gonna lie. I've been slacking. I've been working and trying to stay above. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah,
capitalist ass, whatever. But
yeah.
read a book though. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna find it. I need to find a new book to read. But yeah,
Oh,
do that.
did you take some of the literature they was passing out or no?
Hell no. I ain't taking none of
Yeah.
that.
They actually got some good shit out there though. I've been reading some of that. It was just like little booklets. It wasn't like whole. A couple of them were whole
Hmm.
books, but it was just little booklets.
I feel like I gotta read in like where my interest is at the moment because my interest jumps around a lot. So it's like I'm not interested in whatever it is at that moment. It's like my
No, that's
ADHD
fair.
is gonna be like, nah, we don't want that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I feel you.
Yeah. So I gotta find like the right book.
Okay, so read a book, nigga.
I'm gonna read a book, nigga. I'm gonna take my own advice because I do that. All right, don't judge me.
All right.
Is
Yeah, I
we
think
out?
I'm
Is we
good.
out?
I think I'm
Okay.
good. I'm
All
straight.
right.
All right,
Well.
signing off and 3, 2, 1, bye.
Boop.